Are you ready to know the 3 beliefs people have that block their happiness? Like for all things, we hold limiting beliefs that stop us from having the very things that we all strive for at some point in our lives. So these are beliefs handed down to us from parents, siblings, friends, employers, society. Once we pick up these beliefs, they become expectations. And so these are the things we see playing out in our lives. It's the same for the beliefs we hold about happiness. I've narrowed it down to 3 specific ones and explain here why they are limiting beliefs and they're all untrue. But before we start, for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm a happiness coach, I'm a writer and a poet who prior to this was a school teacher for 25 years until I retired early to commit fully to bringing more happiness to the world. So here I get to talk to everyone, the young and the old. So before I carry on, just take a second to hit the subscribe button below and take a look at my free happiness booklet in the link below too. It's totally free and gives you the first 3 steps to creating a life of happiness. Now let's dive in. What are those 3 beliefs holding people back from happiness? The first belief is that happiness is outside of us. Yes, we can feel happy, but the idea is that the happy inside comes from the happy outside. Having our first date, a job, a car or holiday all bring on the feeling of happiness, but it's fleeting. After a while, the intense feeling felt at the beginning, it goes. We then believe that to be happy, something needs to happen on the outside again to be happy. But true lasting happiness actually comes from inside and reflects back at us from outside. It's like a beacon of light shining from our heart that then lights up the world and brings good things to us. So what did you learn as a child that made you believe that happiness didn't last? Look at how we celebrate Christmas with the naughty or nice child, or with punishment for not doing as you're told, having things on the outside of us being confiscated. For instance, a teenager loses all their tech equipment or doesn't get to go to the family holiday. These are all things associated with feeling happy. And for a teenager, these would be gifts that were given to them to make them happy in the first place. So the second belief is that we have no control over how we feel. Therefore, we can't change our feelings. We are not told that there's a connection between our thoughts, our beliefs, and our feelings. Our feelings come from our thoughts, and our thoughts come as a result of our beliefs. So a good example is how a child is laughed at and mocked for being clumsy. So this could be at home. But as an adult, anytime someone laughs, that adult believes they are being laughed at because they must have acted in a clumsy way and immediately feel the way they did as a child. Now this cycle can be stopped by getting rid of the belief. And of course, beliefs can range anywhere between fear of being clumsy to feeling unloved, unwanted, not enough, and actually can go on to sabotage people's marriages, relationships, jobs, and so on. The truth is, we are able to control our feelings. We can get to the point where we immediately recognise that we feel unhappy, uncomfortable, frustrated, and so on, and actively change the emotion. First, though, we need to identify what thought we had that made us feel bad and see if it's a belief rooted in truth. If it isn't, we can let it go. Now, the last belief is believing that you are everything you've been told about yourself by others, and also what you believe about yourself from your experiences in life. For instance, if, say, on your 4th birthday, no one that was invited turned up to your birthday party, you're likely to have a belief that other people don't think that you're good enough, that you're worthy enough to be celebrated and appreciated. But of course that's not true. And it's only a belief that was formed when you were too young to see it for what it really was. It is these beliefs that keep many of us acting small and not realising the power we all have that's within us. Do we need someone to help us fix all of this? No, not if our power and happiness is inside us. but you may need someone to guide you to where that is. And that is where my freebie comes in. So do help yourself to my happiness booklet that guides you to lasting happiness through new positive habits, new beliefs, and new patterns of behaviour. Learn how to connect with your inner happiness on a daily basis. It's how I started on my personal development journey. And trust me, once you get into the momentum, you'll just keep on getting better and better at it. And ultimately, you want to be able to live with happiness as your default. Now, my booklet begins that journey. So feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. Have a beautiful day, and I hope you get to have my freebie.